Yes. You want to introduce your guys or have them introduce themselves? And then how's the summer been going in now into fall practice?
Summer's been great. We've had 60 to or so, low 60 guys at most workouts. We had 60 some there this morning, so we've had a good core group that's there most days, and you always have your guys that's on vacation here and there, but we understand that, but it's getting ready to be go time. So we're excited about what we got. We've seen 70 plus guys on our list, so hopefully Wednesday we'll have 70 or so there at practice. But I'll let these guys introduce themselves.
My name's Strittmatter. I play quarterback and strong safety, and I'm just ready to play some football.
My name's Brady Ross. I play receiver and safety. Yep, just ready for the season to start.
My name's Alex Page. I play offense and defensive line. I'm just ready to start.
My name is Delacruz. I play running back and linebacker.
Coach Robertson, what does the quarterback situation look like?
Luke's the guy. He's the starter going in, and James Thomas is also playing that role. So those two guys, senior and a junior, will be getting majority of snaps in the preseason for quarterback. James also plays receiver, but he'll double up and become the backup quarterback for Luke, essentially, in case something happens there.
Coach, how nice has it been to have a full offseason coming in a little bit late last year and working with these guys and seeing what they did last year through all the injuries, defensively playing strong, and being able to build off of what you were able to accomplish last year despite all the obstacles?
It's always nice and comfortable. I mean, I think same can be said for the guys to me. They know, I think it gets a lot of publicity about me, but it's about them, about how comfortable they are with me as a head coach. So I think they know kind of what makes me go, and I know what makes them go a little bit better now. So it's nice to know your guys a little bit better. I think we were able to recruit some guys out of the hallways that's going to help us this year. So I hope, we have a really good young group. I think we had 30 right now in our sophomore class, mid-20s in our freshman class. Our juniors and seniors are not as many, but real quality kids and quality players. So I think the combination of those two things look good for our future. So it's been real nice to be there and get acquainted with the school and see kind of how the landscape and things we need to work on. And the weight room has been a big change for us. I think our guys look a little different this year, and hopefully that's going to lead to less injuries and a healthier team.
Luke, after the injury last year, first of all, how frustrating was that to sit on the sidelines and watch these guys have to go out at it? And has that fueled you heading into your senior year to hopefully train harder to be a better player?
Yeah, it was definitely frustrating not being able, this is my favorite sport, so not being able to be out there with the guys and running around, hitting people, making plays. It was a good start to the season, and then I got hurt, and it was just like depleting. But what was the second part of the question?
Has that fueled you to be a better player for your senior season?
Definitely, yeah. I think it made me work harder to get where I want to be more avoid the injuries, be stronger in the weight room, and yeah.
I know, Coach, you've had a lot of success in different places, and at those different places, we've seen different things out of your quarterbacks. I know you've had some guys that have been more pocket passers, some that have been, dynamic dual threat type guys. What should we expect to see in terms of what you have this year?
I think Luke specifically as a dual threat guy. I think he can throw the football and hurt you in that way, and also he has the ability to hurt you with his feet and legs. I think he has a knack of avoiding some people. He's pretty shifty as far as that goes. So he's also smart, savvy football player. So he's kind of a coach on the field, and that's kind of I've tried to get him to be an extension. We talk about being an extension of me on the field, and I think he does a good job, and the guys really look up to him. So I think dual threat, and I kind of like that. I think when you have a quarterback back there can run, it adds a back in the backfield, so to speak. So I think that makes it hard for defensive coordinators to defend. So we like to have a guy that can run and throw.
Coach, I'm wondering now that I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, 1980 maybe the last time Rockingham was in the same conference as Reedsville Memorial, and I believe it was Madison Med at high school at the time before McMichael. But nevertheless, a long time. How does that component change change now that you're all part of the same conference?
I think it's great for natural rivalries. You know, obviously, I don't think Rockingham's beat Reidsville probably since '89 or something. So I don't know if you can call it a rivalry when you don't win. You know, you got to win some games. You know, but I do think from a geographical standpoint, it was the right thing to do for this county to be in the same league for McMichael and Moorhead and us and Reidsville. It obviously, I think, adds, you know, I think gates will be better. People want to come watch, so it obviously helps all of our 4 athletic pros in the county. And then you got Walkertown and Carver's, a bordering county essentially. So I think those they come from good, you know, traditionally good programs in football. And Bartlett Yancey, I thought, always made sense to be in our conference, but yet there was an east and west divide. Now they did away with that. I think that was a great move by the state. I know they get a lot of criticism, but I think they got our conference right, you know, and I think we have a chance to be a well-rounded conference in a lot of sports, and hopefully as a football program we'll be competitive with any of them.
Let's talk about playing in the trenches. I know how much that matters to your head coach. So talk about just playing offensive line, defensive line, and just the whole group as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, it's really been a kind of change in mindset as I've gotten older. It's kind of going in with my guys. I mean, we've seen a lot of growth this year too. A lot of us really buying into the weight room, a lot of improvements, and just like, especially this year, becoming one of those leaders on there and kind of helping control them. But at the same time, it's like you got to go in with that like pretty much move or get moved mentality, or it's just not going to work.
This question's for Christian. Last year, while covering you guys' games, I kind of called you the linchpin and the catalyst in that defense. How do you improve upon that, and how do you kind of help coach your teammates up to help you in that aspect?
You know, we got to be leaders this year because we had a lot of stuff holding us back. So I think we really improved, and I like coaching the younger guys, like helping them. You know, it's going to be great. And what was the second part?
Well, how do you improve yourself and help your teammates improve to help improve the overall defense?
Getting in the weight room a lot. And, you know, some days where there wasn't practice, we'd call the guys out and come get on the field and get some more work in, you know.
Yep.
Christian, do you think defense or offense comes more naturally to you?
I like running back. I like offense.
Coach, I know you've only been, well, this will be your second year obviously at Rockingham. I know last year the conference obviously different being in that mid-state 3A, but was there anything about being in that league that you think has helped this program?
Well, I mean, I think, you know, we played some pretty good competition in that league. You know, I know some teams that we played also were down, so I don't know if it has any carryover. I think we're used to playing good people. I mean, we've played Dudley, and we have a lot of guys coming back. We don't have a lot of seniors and juniors, but we do have a lot of returning starters coming back in that senior junior group. So they played against Dudley, they played against Reidsville, you know, all those guys, and so they played the best, and that's what you have to measure yourself up against. And if you want to be that kind of program, you can't just play against them, you have to compete against them. So I think for this program, it's not just showing up, it's showing up and competing and playing and having a chance to win in the fourth quarter. And that's what I've always tried to gear a team to do, is to be a fourth quarter team that can have a chance to win in big games.
And I know you mentioned the new conference, the dynamic, obviously it sets up a lot of county matchups, but you went from being a team with a smaller enrollment in the old system to now in this conference being the large school with some smaller schools in there. I mean, what do you think, you know, the impact is of that, and maybe what that means in a broader, larger significance?
I think it means whatever you want it to mean. I mean, I think, you know, I've coached at all the A's pretty much, and I think A is just a number or a letter. You know, I never thought A's won any games, but so us being I guess you'd say the biggest school in this the conference should be an advantage to us. But at the same time, we're probably going to have 70 guys on our roster. I'm sure some other teams in this conference are going to have at least that or more on their roster. So I still think it comes down to how many guys you got on your team and how much depth you can build. And how good your ones and how good you can develop your twos behind your ones in case somebody goes down. And we have the same problems that I'm sure all the rest of schools have is depth. You know, how do you find quality depth behind these guys sitting up here with me now? And that's a challenge, but that's what coaching is. You know, you just, in this world of transfer portal and NIL, now it's high school football, and it's even here. You know, people do it here, you know, but we got who we got, and now our job is to coach them, and that's what we try to do. You know, we have meetings all the time. You know, you don't have this, you don't have this. What are we going to do to get it better? That's the problem. Now, what's the solution? And that's what I love about high school football. Everybody gets their guys. Now let's go. You know, let's coach and let's play.
In terms of going from year one to year two, what are maybe the biggest strides you've noticed, you know, since your first year to now going into year two?
I mean, I think at practice now, our kids know kind of the expectation of what I want, what our coaches want. They, you know, just the simple things of knowing how practices ran. Like today, we had mini camp now for the second year. So mini camp this year was much more seamless than last year. You know where to go. You know who your individual coach is. You know where he's at. You know where he does his drill work. All that thing leads to efficiency, and that's what you're trying to do. Is you're trying to get a lot of work done as efficiently as you can. And I think our program runs much more efficiently now, if I had to put it in one word, so to speak.
I know you had, obviously, when you took over at Reedsville, quick success. Eastern Guilford, you had a successful turnaround. Page, you built that thing up. I mean, is there anything from those past experiences that you've utilized at Rockingham?
Yeah, I mean, I think the core values of our programs are hard work, and that's going to beat talent, you know, most of the time. You know, sometimes you run up on a talented team where they're much more talented than you, and it doesn't work out that way, you know. But most time, if you work harder than your opponent and you're well coached and you play harder than that opponent, we talk about playing harder than our opponent, you know, then I think that gives you a best chance to win. That's what our core principles are, you know, your work ethic, you know, how much passing you have for the program. Are you a leader? And are you willing to come to practice what we call work every day? Are you willing to come to work and get after it every day and get better every day? And if that happens, the wins will take care of themselves. You know, being a good person, being a good student, being good in the community, all those things I think lead to wins. It's not win first and then do the other things later. I don't think you can do it that way. So that's kind of what we've always tried to do.
Coach, when watching your team last year, you couldn't question the competitiveness of your guys. Yep. What does that mean to you? Talk a little bit about these guys that are on the table and your team as a whole. Competitive, they're going to leave it out there every time.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I love about it. I mean, I love coming to practice every day. And to be honest, last year wasn't as good as it could have been. You know, we could have played harder. We had a few things we didn't have the best leadership last year, just to put it bluntly. And I think this year our leadership's much better. We got guys that love football rather than just do it as a hobby, I think, and they come to practice every day and they want to win. And I think they're willing to do anything it takes to win. And so it's nice. I did look at the film last year and on Saturday mornings and say, you know, kids never quit. And we were in a tough situation where they could have quit. And so I do take pride in that. And that does reflect on me as a head coach, and I tell them that. And we work really hard in practice to make sure that doesn't happen.
Brady, one of the most experienced units is the secondary on the team. Talk about playing alongside Luke and the other guys back there in the defensive backfield.
Yeah, the defense has definitely been strong ever since I started playing defense sophomore year. It's been strong ever since. So, I mean, defense is great.
And for any of you guys on defense, what's it like working with Coach Jebbia and the defensive staff? Coach Jebbia
he's great.
He's a juggernaut out there.
Yeah, he's great. He's a great coach. He knows what he's doing, and he's our defensive coordinator.
I mean, Coach G's been doing it for a long time, so he knows what he's doing. You got any questions, you just ask him. He's got you covered. And he's just great. He's a great man. He's nice to everybody. He shows people what to do. He's just a great coach.
I know there's a lot of multi-sport athletes up here at this table. Can you guys maybe just touch upon what are the benefits, and is there any downside to that? Because I know sometimes there is overlap. What do you think?
The downside has to be time. You don't have much time to work on your other sport, so you're just stuck on that one for the season. You move on. The plus side is you get to experience all the sports and have fun all year.
I would definitely say one of the biggest plus sides to playing multiple sports is just staying active, keeping you in shape, whether it's basketball, baseball, track. I mean, you're always running, so just getting stronger, being faster. And then, I mean, there's downsides, just like if I'm playing baseball, I can't be doing football at the same time, so it's just some downsides.
Yeah, so especially like a benefit would be, I mean, it gives you that change of pace, but I mean, there's tools from all these other sports like baseball, basketball, track especially. It's like it's going to come over to the other sports that you play. And then the downside, especially like during spring practice, how like baseball was in the playoffs, like we couldn't really participate in the morning.
Like Luke and Brady and Alex said, it builds you, you know, and gets you to a higher level. Keep playing.
Coach, talk about your confidence and how you think that's going to prepare you going into this conversation.
I think, you know, I'm proud of our schedule that we got. You know, we opened up, I think, Southwest Guilford out of Greensboro, High Point areas, a new coach, you know, from a good, you know, pedigree, you know, coach with Coach Morris down at Carolina Forest. So I think Southwest will be improved. They've always been, to me, one of the more athletic programs in Guilford County. So it's going to be help us get ready for the kind of athletes we're going to play against. And then game 2, Magna Vista out of Virginia, I think is as good a program in South Virginia as it is. You know, so that's going to challenge us big time. And then game 3, Western Alamance. I mean, kind of going across, we're playing kind of the traditional powers of each county. You know, Western Alamance, Coach Snuffer has really done a good job for a long time. And then finishing up with Asheboro, who's in the Guilford County League now, who's coached by Calvin Brown, you know, Darrell Brown's brother. They're very well coached. And Asheboro has always kind of been that team where you wait for them to break out. So you hope they don't do it against us. But it's going to, I think those 4 games are going to get us prepared to, I think, open up with our first conference opener against McMichael to at least seeing a lot of good football teams. And does that mean you're going to play well the next game? I don't know, but we're definitely going to put some people in front of us that are going to challenge our football team and find out who our guys are. And hopefully by game 5, we'll have our depth chart where it needs to be and find out who our guys are moving forward in the conference season.
Lastly, Coach, what does success look like for your guys? Maybe not record-wise, but what you want from them.
Well, I just want them to have a positive experience. You know, these are all seniors. We weren't a very good football. We had a 5-5 record last year, but we weren't happy with our result last year. So you can base it on record there. We didn't go to the playoffs, 5-5, and we weren't good enough to go to the playoffs. Let's be honest. This year, I'd like to see us show growth and again compete in the games that we need to compete in, and no matter who it is. You know, I think anybody on our schedule, our guys are equipped to compete with. They just got to believe it. I believe it. Our staff believes it, but we have to prepare that way. And mentally, we got to go in those games feeling we have a chance to beat anybody. And if we do that, you know, I think that's going to be the next step for this program.
Robertson, I appreciate it.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you.